Hi. So glad to have you in class. Welcome to lesson one. We're going to jump right into this. But before we do, I need to introduce myself. My name is Faye. I am your sister, your auntie, your mentor, and your coach. And I am here to help you go and become the author you've always dreamed of becoming. A lot of times we make this a lot harder than what it actually is. And that was me for a long time. I had so many ideas, so many books, so much innovation was coming to me all the time. And it began to bombard me to the fact where I got lost in my own thoughts sometimes. I began to overthink it. I began to be afraid of if I write the book, who will buy it, having all these thoughts. And then I made a decision. I'm like, listen, either we're going to do it or we're not. But one thing I'm not going to do is continue to hang in this messy middle. I'm either going to get on the pot and go, or I'm going to get off and move on with my life. And so you have to come to a place in your life when you like, listen, I am done being stuck in this rut. I am done saying I'm going to do something only to continue to delay it. And whether we like it or not, life will continue to life. Life was going to move forward with or without you making a decision. And so I'm so proud of you making a decision today. Congratulations. Let's get into it. Lesson one, we're going to look at how do you go from confused to clear? How do you become the author? Like, that's the first thing. How do I become the author? This is not just a course, just so you know. I want you to get your notebook out, get your pencils, get your pens, get your laptops, because we're going to do the necessary work starting in our mind so that in some of y'all 30 days, some of you guys 60 days, some of you guys 90 days, others may take a little longer, but it's up to you with how fast you want to become an author. Like, how bad do you really want this? Okay. And so, this is not just about writing a book either. This is about becoming a person who finishes what you start. That's the first step of going from confused to clear. You got to stop making excuses for why you are stuck in the same old rut. Because I don't know whether you know it, but we're just getting older. And life is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. So, how long are you going to continue to sit there and give your excuses to yourself? How long are you going to continue just to sit there in this loop, like in this mountainous wilderness that you've been walking through for a long time? You know your story can help somebody. There's a lesson, there's a purpose, there's a passion, there's a recipe, there's a children's book that can literally transform the next generation. But here you are sitting on that. Here you are still making excuses. But I'm here to tell you that most people do not fail because they are not smart enough. You know that, right? They fail simply because they stay stuck in thinking. And I'm not telling you that you don't need to think. We need to be thinking, okay? Use that beautiful brain. But you gotta stop overthinking it all, okay? 'Cause you'll be doing too much. That's the only way I can really put it, okay? Most people who fail, it's because they don't feel ready. They are waiting to feel ready. They are waiting to feel confident. They are waiting to feel sure. But here's the truth. Listen, here's the truth. You do not need more time. You need a decision. And clarity does not come before action. You know that, right? So you're thinking, I'm going to write the book when I feel like ready, when I get clear, when I kind of know. But one thing I've discovered as a publisher, most of my authors that I kind of help nudge them over, them like, hey, we writing this book. Most of them, once we get started in the creative process, they literally take off creatively. And that first book we wrote, more times than not, they're like, I got another idea. I want to put that down. And so you got to understand that once you start moving, then you can be trusted with more creativity. And so it goes back to scripture. I know some of you guys are not Christian. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. You don't have to love Jesus to be here, but I would invite you to love him because he's amazing. But in the Bible, it states about how if you're faithful over a few, I'll make you ruler over much. And we got to begin to break that down into today, into right now. What am I being faithful with now? I'm looking for the big goals and the big visions, and I want to see all this stuff happen. And that's great. But how are you today being faithful with the ideas? with the curriculums, with the trainings, with the cookbooks, with the children's books? How are you stewarding that idea? Did you go bury it because you felt like I can't really do it? Did you go bury it because you like, oh, they may not buy it? What did you do with it? Because some of you are doing exactly what the foolish person did in the Bible that went and buried his talent. You are hiding it. And it could be because of your own fear. It could be because of people pleasing. It could be because you are an imposter. But today I'm going to invite you to shift from that, to make a turn for the better, because it's you stopping you right now. I'm just gonna be real with you. It's you stopping you, but I'm so proud of you because you made a decision to get started in the publishing academy, baby. And I'm just so proud of you for making that decision. But that decision is just the beginning. If we don't move towards clarity, we will still be in the same old loop. Okay. And so clarity does not come from action, it comes after you move. All right. So in this lesson, we are going to not start right out the gate with writing. We're going to start with you because you are the common denominator. And so let's shift right into it. Number one, write this down. I want you to take notes, take studious notes, because this is going to help you on your journey. This is going to make this so much easier, right? The shift you must make, write down the shift I must make. So right now you may be thinking, I think I want to write a book. And the fact that you're here, we know that's true. And more than likely, you want to write many books. And the beautiful part about this academy is once you learn how to write these books, you're going to be able to publish your books. You're going to be able to even monetize ebooks. You're going to be able to not only do that, but be a publisher. You're going to be able to help other people publish their books. I'm going to teach you the game, teach you how to go make that money, okay? But it starts with you. And you got to make the shift from I want to write the book to it sounds good to write a book, but that's weak. That I'm going to try to write a book, that has no power, that has no direction, and that ultimately has no commitment. Okay. And I go hard. So if you know me, you know, Faye loves you. I want the best for you. And sometimes that means pushing you. I am a coach by trade. I just so happen to be a publisher as well. But we get stuff done by pushing people forward sometimes, birthing you into your purpose. All right. And so that I'm going to try. If you're trying, you lying. Sorry. If you're trying, you lying. Try to sit in your chair. You either sitting or you getting up. Try to eat your food. You either going to eat it or you don't. You see what I'm saying? The only time we make that lame excuse of try is when it comes to doing something that we know we're supposed to do. There's a book in you, and yet you are still sitting there talking about, I'm going to try. I think I'm going to write a book. How are you going to think, ma'am? How long do you need to think, brother? What's going on? How long? Because that book can change someone else's life. Some of y'all, your life's a blueprint. Your life is legit a blueprint. And you sitting there hiding it because you are ashamed, because you are afraid, because you are uncomfortable. You got to get past yourself and understand it's bigger than me. Put it in the comments. It's bigger than me. My story, my book is way bigger than me. It is a gift to the world. This is a gift to humanity. And you must become a faithful steward. You must release this book. And so we are replacing, I'm going to try, and I think I'm going to write a book to I am an author. Put it in the comments. I am an author. You got to begin to speak it before you see it. Say, I am an author. I am getting clear and I am moving forward. This is called an identity shift. And until you make this shift, you're going to go around that same old mountain. That book going to stay locked up in your heart and in your mind. And one day you may look up and regret, like, oh my God, I never wrote that book. But it won't be you because you got Coach Faye. I'm right here to help you. And so let's go down the psychology road. I love psychology because when you study psychology, you learn a lot about people. In psychology, identity drives behavior. So whoever you think you are, you're right. Okay. And so if you think you are a loser, you're right. If you think you are a winner, you're right. If you think you are an author, you are right. Congratulations. And so you get to decide that. You know that, right? It don't matter what someone else says about you. What matters is what do you receive and perceive and say about yourself. Okay. And so if you see yourself as someone who wants to write, you will think about writing and you will write. If you see yourself as an author, you will write. And the problem is that most of us are afraid to see it. And if you never see it with your eyes, you'll never see it and hold it in your hands. Okay. And so everything in your life follows this order. First, you be. You must be first. Identity is the root of everything. And the issue is we don't know who we are. We know what they said about us. We know how they made us feel. But do you truly know who you are? Most of you probably don't. Then once you be, you know who you are, then you do. We act out of our identity. Most times we want to skip to this last part, which is then you have. You want to go and get the money, you want to drive the big cars, you want the house, you want the family, you want whatever that thing is. But you can't have the have until you do what you're supposed to do to have the have. But you gotta be in order to do, in order to have. I know, word salad, but it makes so much sense. So your identity first must be rooted in who am I? Who did God call me to be? Then once you have the identity locked in, you will do what the identity is. And if your identity is misaligned, all that's going to be very misaligned. But I'm going to help you today. So don't worry. Don't worry. If you're stressed out right now, if you're like, Faye, oh my God, take a breath. You're going to be okay. Okay. Most people, like we said, try to do this backwards. They're trying to say, when I have a book, then I'll be an author. But you cannot have a book if you don't become an author first. And so let's take a moment. I want you to take a moment and write down, I am an author. I am an author and I am not afraid to share my story. And so be first. You got to decide, I am an author. And then once you make that decision, what do you have to do that connects to that identity? You start thinking, you start planning, you start moving like an author. Okay. Then once you do that, then it's the have. Now you produce the book. But if you skip B, you will struggle in the do and you will delay what you're supposed to have. So most of y'all, let's be real, you were supposed to been done wrote that book. Your book was supposed to have been done, but life and things keep popping up. Things keep happening. Your identity is not where it needs to be as a writer and an author. Therefore, where's the book? Where's the book? Where's your book? It's okay though. Relax. We're going to get the book done. The book will be done in 2026. And for y'all watching me time later, your book will be done. Okay. In Jesus' name. Okay. And so if you skip the B, you will struggle with the do. And if you struggle with the do, if you don't do the work of an author, which is to write, you will not have the book. Okay. And so to move forward, you need three things. Write this down. You need three things. Or some of y'all go download the workbook because you can follow me directly with this outline. Okay. You want to, number one, set a clear goal. Most of us, we think too much. We like, I want a journal, I want a devotional, I want this book, you got all these things coming up at the same time. And that's beautiful. It's called innovation, it's called life. And life sometimes can be overwhelming when it's bubbling up with all these ideas. But what I want you to do is pinpoint one idea. Which one do you want to build first? And so write down what am I building? I'm asking you, what are you building? Your goal should be simple. I am writing a book with a clear message. What is that message I am trying to put out there in a book form? Because what you don't know is once you get that message, it's so many doors is going to open for you. And so, clear idea. What's the one message you want to push right now? I know you may have many, many, many messages, but what's the one that's most pressing right now? Number two, write this down. Now that you have a clear goal, you need a clear pathway, meaning, how will I get there? And that's not you guessing, but this actually, you are going to follow a system. This course will give you the steps to exactly follow the system. And like I said before, some of you will finish your book in 30 days. Yeah, literally. But you got to be ready to put in that work, put in the time, do the work. Some of you may be finished in 60 days. Some of you 90 days, some of you maybe 6 months, some of you maybe a year. But as long as we are on the path to get it done, it's not a race. But I just want you to make a commitment. My book will be done, and this is the pathway. Okay. And then number three, what you need is agency. Do you believe that you can do this? Because the community's here. That's welcome to the Publishing Academy, the publishing family. We are here to support you. We have coaching calls every Tuesday, and you can reach out and say, Faye, listen, I'm stuck, and I will help you get unstuck. But it goes back to identity. Do you believe that you can do this? Because I can talk to tomorrow. And if you don't believe that you're an author, you're going to go around that same old circle. And even when we have our writing intensives in our writing rooms, you come out and you just be around other authors and y'all just network and collab and connect. And we start building out those books and some programs. If you don't believe it, we're going to go around the same old mountain. And so this is where most people break down or get stuck. They doubt themselves, they overthink, they compare. Woo! Their comparison is a thief of joy. And you got to be real careful with that comparison, honey, okay? But let's make this very clear, okay? You already have what you need inside. It's already there. Your story is real. Your experience is real. And for some of you, your experience is real and raw. It's like, it's just oozing out of you. And your voice, it matters. That voice you got, it matters. Agency is not about feeling confident. It's about choosing to move even when you don't. That's what makes people courageous, when they do it afraid, do it anyways. It is such a vulnerable, very like nerve-wracking place to be as an author when you're putting your book out there. You got so many questions, you got so many things, like so many thoughts, but that's what makes the greats great. The fact that you're able to put it out there anyways. It don't matter if no one buys my book, and I hope somebody will, and I'm gonna teach you how to get that bag with that book, okay? But it's about doing and writing your book even when afraid, okay? And so let's move forward to the next portion of this. Why you feel stuck. Let's deal with this honestly, okay? You are not stuck because you don't have ideas. Let's be honest. You're stuck because you're overthinking, because you're trying to be perfect. That's a big one. Because you're afraid of choosing the wrong thing. Because you're afraid about what they're going to say. Because you possibly could be afraid about my story would make my mom or my dad or my cousin, it will make them look bad. So should I share that story? You're afraid about, will anybody really even pay attention to what I have to say? You're afraid about failure. Some of you are afraid of success. Some of you are afraid of even sharing your story because you don't look like what you've been through. And it's like, what if I share this story, how people will perceive me? How would they see me? And so you're afraid because you are waiting to feel ready. This is called cognitive overload. Too many thoughts, too many options, no decisions. Is that you? Okay. And so when there is no decision, there's no movement. And so we will fix this by doing one thing: make a decision. What are you going to do? What book will you write? What story will you tell? Make a decision. And I know you may have a lot, but guess what? We can go back and do it again. You can publish more books, but we need to birth the first one. We need to birth the second one for some of y'all. Okay. And so your message is already inside of you. You know that, right? It's already in you. And you are not starting from zero. You already have the message. You just need the structure and the community and the support. Your message comes. And so this is a lesson I want you to write. Get your pencils out. I want you to write this down. Your message, for some of you that may be a little bit confused about your messages and how it's going to come across, this is how you pick from the message. Your message comes from three places. It comes from pain. What have you been through? Because trauma is neither negative nor positive, although it can be pretty painful, to be honest. But trauma is neither negative or positive. It came to bring you a lesson. And like my mentor said, if you learn the lesson of that trauma, you can birth it into a training and sell the training. and give it to other people and help so many people. And so your trauma came to teach you something. What did that pain come to teach you? So, what have you been through? What have you overcome? What can you speak or say to someone else that would help that person not make the same mistake or not go through the same thing or make their process shorter? Okay, which leads to number two. It comes from your pain. It comes from a process. What did you learn? So, what have you been through? What did you learn? And then the third one is power. What can you teach now? What can you now teach to other people? This is your message. And this is the framework for every book. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I'm not going to say this up front because this is something I got to really beat the drum on this. No one cares about your story. Yes, I know I just said people need to hear your story, but follow me. No one cares about your story until your story can help them. People care about themselves. And then knowing that they care so much about themselves, if you don't use your story to talk about the pain, the process, and the power that was birthed from that, no one will want to hear your story. No one wants to hear about, oh, I've been through this and I've been through that and I've been through this. Oh, woe is me. Be quiet. No one wants to hear a crybaby, okay? Unless that crybaby can help me get through XYZ. See what I'm saying? And so that's how you gotta package it. My pain, my process into what power. That is the message. This is not something you have to go find. This is something you actually got to pull out. Welcome to the Publishing Academy, where I'm going to help you do just that. And so you are not called to everybody. This is the next lesson you must learn. Everybody's not your avatar. And I know you're like, I can help all of them. That's great. But right now, you need to understand you are not called to everyone. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to reach everyone. This actually creates confusion. And confusion kills progress. And so you wonder why, man, I know I got so much in me, but why am I so stuck? Why can't I break through? Could it be because you are causing confusion? You are literally like a beacon of confusion because you're trying to talk to everybody at the same time. It don't work like that. It does not work like that. I always tell people, sit down. When ideas come, catch them, paper and pen. It's something powerful that happens when you write it on paper. Yes, you can get your phone and type it in, but it's something powerful that happens when you capture the idea with a blue pen and white paper and you write it down. And so that's scientifically proven. So go look it up. But I want you to begin to capture those thoughts and those dreams and those things that could happen, that you could birth, and know that they don't all have to be done right now. Okay? That's where we get messed up. We're like, I want to do all of it, all so great. That's beautiful. But they do not all have to be done right now. Okay? And that's when you get in trouble trying to do too much. You got to calm it down because you're going to confuse people. And confusion kills progress. You're going to confuse yourself mostly. You're going to be stuck like, oh my God, I'm so stuck. You're not stuck. You're just confused. And you've confused yourself. Okay? And so, back to our lesson. You are not called to everyone. Yeah? You are assigned to someone, but you ain't called to everyone. And most of the time, you are writing to a version of yourself. So, who are you speaking to? You know how they feel. You know what they're going through because you've been through it. You know so much about this person. And your story, your courageousness, and your desire to be able to help this person, man, it's going to help. It's going to free a generation. There's books of people that I read and have read. These people have long gone from the earth, long gone. But yet their books still transform lives to this day. I believe this is your opportunity to transform lives for the rest of the time on earth. Like literally, even after you depart from earth, your words will still be here to help the next generation. That by itself should give you just the excitement to go and make this book happen. And so remember, you're not for everybody, but you're definitely for somebody. And this person, you know this person because this person was you. And when you get clear on that person, your message becomes so strong. Oh my gosh. And so clarity creates confidence. Confidence is not something you are waiting for. Confidence is built through clarity, okay? Clarity. So when you know what your book is about, when you know who is your book for and what message you are sharing, you will stop hesitating and you will start moving forward. And so in today's homework, yes, we did not come here just to sit and talk to y'all. I need you to be moving. This is about movement, okay? Today's homework, your first step forward is number one, your identity statement. Write this: I am an author. I have a message to help people, and I am committed to move forward. Write that right now. I need you honestly to write that until it sticks to your brain. You know, your soul is your will, your emotions, and your mind. And so sometimes when your mind has been told a certain story over and over and over and over, it began to believe that. And so you got to tell yourself, I am an author and I have a message that will help people. And I'm committed to moving forward. I'm not going to continue to wait and hope and pray. I'm going to put faith with action and make it happen. Okay. Step two, answer this question: what is one decision I am making today about writing my book? Do not overthink this. Just make a decision. Like I said before, whatever thoughts you have, write them down. Capture the thought. You can always go back. Choose one for right now. And we'll focus on that and then we'll double back. Okay. Number three, outcome. Complete this sentence. I want you to literally take time, at least an hour. If you're not spending at least an hour thinking through this, I'm gonna look at you kind of sideways because I need you to really get this done. You're not here just to look at me. You're not here just to make friends. You're here to write your book. Okay. And so I need you to complete this sentence in your notebook. All right. And so by the end of this course, I will have a clear, is it a message? Clear audience, clear book direction. And my goal is for you to have all these. If you follow this blueprint, you will have a clear message, you will have a clear audience, and you will have a clear book direction. And so before this lesson, do these things and make sure you're not just skipping to the next video. Do the work. We're not here just to give you a little pick me up, a little inspiration. We're here to work. Okay. And so it's about momentum, it's about action, it's about moving forward. Now just stepping into your identity as an author, this is where everything changes. This is where your whole life changes. Okay. You are no longer waiting, you're no longer guessing, you are moving. Okay. And once you move, clarity will meet you there. I will see y'all in the next episode. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me.